right. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the Exit Row, episode 32.
32.
You might notice a couple things different if you're watching via video on maybe YouTube or Spotify. We're oriented a little bit different here.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a different runway takeoff.
We're a little bit cozier.
Sometimes at Epley they take off from the north. Sometimes they take off from the south.
The
Sometimes
winds
we're
change
angled at the
directions
angle.
here at the exit row. So
Well said. Yeah, the winds have changed, forcing us into a new angle here. So
Yes.
let's see.
Whoa, bro, you just touched me. Like, this is gonna
Whoa.
this is gonna get really intimate.
whoa.
It's going to happen here. So a couple
Oh my God.
things. So it's kind of an express exit row today. I don't know. It'll probably end up being an hour as usual.
Express row.
But anyway, so you went to Chattanooga because we're basically just going to dive right into it. You were the latest person to have travels.
Yes, I had
Lately.
travels.
You went down south.
Went down
east.
south.
You want to talk about it a little bit?
Let's talk about it. Hey, so yeah, so we took a trip down.
You.
Paige and myself.
Okay, gotcha.
Took a trip down to Kansas City.
I stayed in Kansas City for the weekend because we had an LA Galaxy game that Sunday. So
Yep. So it made sense for me to travel out of Kansas City, and then
Made sense for Paige to stay and
fly
wait
back.
for you.
I needed a ride back, so
Yeah.
it's a 2.5 hour drive. So
Paige waited in the car the entire weekend,
the whole time in front of the airport,
just waiting. I can see her doing that for you,
right,
actually.
yeah,
No.
that would be dedication,
In fact, that was actually what happened.
ladies and gentlemen.
unnecessary
If
dedication.
you didn't know, Paige actually stayed at the airport the whole time, and she's like, "Plen."
Just can't wait for Adama to come back.
Is he coming back? Oh God. Okay. So, anyways, So went down to Kansas City. We had, I
You.
got to the airport, right? Took Delta out of Kansas City, and
Had you flown out of Kansas City before?
don't think I've actually flown out of Kansas. No, yes, I have once
Because
before,
you told me you had.
but it's a
so I'm
long
gonna go
time
ahead and
ago.
fact check
Yeah.
you.
In fact, I do remember because, yes, I have a story about that because back then they had the round terminals
Yeah, the old ones.
that you had a TSA like every 10 gates. And I remember because the terminal back then, you would go around a curve. The whole thing is just a curve. So you're just continuously moving in a curve. And I remember I actually went into the women's bathroom.
Oops.
Cool.
Yeah. And the reason why is because
Oh, there's a reason why you went in.
there's a reason why is because I
Usually
saw.
the reason you don't go in there.
Yeah, right.
Usually I don't, right? Yeah. This time it was because when I came around the corner, all I saw was men, and I did not see that whoa before because I didn't make the curve. I didn't make the full curve. So I saw men, and I got in there. I'm like, oh, this is odd. There's a bunch of stalls here. Okay, whatever. I guess I'm
Is
using
this
a
also
stall.
the excuse you would use in a court of law?
Well, yeah. Yeah. And so I could do my business, get out, I go, flush my. Or,
Spending a lot of time on this topic. Let's move on.
I'm just saying. I got a story. I remember now.
Never heard
Kansas
this
City.
before.
And so,
Never heard it? Oh, okay.
No.
and so I wash my hands, and there's a lady right next to me looking at me, and I'm looking at her, and I'm like, oh, I guess this is just like Europe. These are the unisex bathrooms. I walk out and I see it says women, and I go, oh, well,
Oops.
I guess that's that. So,
Cool story.
thanks, Justin. I appreciate it.
I'm glad we spent 5 minutes on you in the women's bathroom. I've only flown through Kansas City once, and I was too young to remember.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, Kansas City.
And have you been through Kansas City at all? Only spotting, right?
Yes, I did go into the new terminal, though, just the lower level to go to the bathroom while we were playing spotting. So that
Oh, another bathroom adventure in Kansas
Yeah.
City. Wow.
Yeah, these bathrooms are. Just,
episode titled "The One Where Adama Goes into the Women's Bathroom."
I don't think we're going to do that. Did you, by chance, go into the men's restroom?
I did not.
Interesting.
Okay, yeah, smart. Yeah. So I left Kansas City a little bit late. By the way,
Nice airport, though. Talk about KC a little bit.
let's talk about Kansas City Airport. So
A nice airport.
MCI.
they have no TSA. It's
wanna
all
explain that for- maybe for
privatized. It's
people
like a privatized contractor. Once you get past the person who's checking your boarding pass, which actually is a TSA agent, so like those are the only TSA agents you get.
Right, so
Then you
TSA
have-
exists. Just to be
Correct.
clear.
It's just different, yeah.
But once you get past that TSA agent, then it's all private security, private screening, private everything, and it was odd. I've never been to an airport where it's been that way before.
It looks very clean now. I've seen some good reports and great reports from it.
Very clean.
Yes.
Very
Glass
spacious.
jet bridges? Did I see that right? Is
Yes.
that the whole terminal or just an area? Like your plane?
I don't know if the Delta out was glass, but I definitely saw that when I got off my United flight back.
I think it's all the gates, but I guess that's a bummer you don't remember because that's a pretty awesome move.
Yeah, it
Very expensive move, but an awesome move.
Yeah.
It made me think of like Amsterdam. Amsterdam, they have glass jet bridges.
Oh, yeah.
Some
it's
of
definitely
their.
a international feel.
But yeah, I sent you guys a photo of the saxophones. You know, they got that the jazz influence there in Kansas City. They had airplanes that were made out of saxophones. So that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, and then did they have airplanes in like the main part where we went too, or what am I thinking of?
I don't know what you're thinking of. Oh, you're thinking about the baggage claim where they
Yes.
had paper airplanes.
Yeah.
They have that at Malpensa Airport. They're in Milan too.
And Dallas.
It's just people who folded planes. But yeah, so very clean airport, very spacious. I'm hoping that when Epley does their transition, it's going to look more like that, where it's going to be wide
Me
open.
too.
Everything has moved in the new one, right? Like they don't even utilize the old section of the airport.
No,
'Cause
and
it's weird when you look at it on Google Maps. Like there's
Right.
a large area.
I know.
When I looked at it, it looked like it's gone. The old terminal, it's all gone.
Oh wow.
So
Like the structure is literally gone. Is what you're saying?
yeah, I mean they still have parts of it, but the whole recognizable circular.
I thought they were just adding to it. I literally didn't know it was like literally they were changing. They were getting rid of that. I thought they were just adding on. I didn't know like it was a whole new airport in general.
Oh yeah, she gone.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I just thought they were adding to it because I figured it would add to size. You know, renovate it, not necessarily get rid of it. I thought that was awesome.
Very like it's a friendly airport, obviously, but like
did something
such
make you
as such as like they have a sensory room. They have
It's modern, is what you're saying.
yeah, very modern. But yeah, so Kansas City got out of there a little bit late because the aircraft arrived late. We were going to arrive late to Atlanta. We were already delayed.
It wasn't terribly late. It was like
issue,
within
too.
the hour, though, right?
I'm sorry.
You weren't that late out of Casey. Like within the hour.
I think we were like 30 minutes late.
Right. But you had a tight connection, which is why this is important.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so, and just like everybody who goes to Atlanta, don't go during the summertime or in the springtime.
Yeah,
I'll
spring,
get further into
Well,
it.
if you can, yeah. I mean, obviously, it's hard not to.
Try to avoid.
Clearly, people are getting the message. It's the busiest airport in the world. Clearly, people get the message.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So get on the 737-900 ER out to Atlanta, and we had to do quite the diversion over to get to Atlanta because the storms that were in Kansas City, which we literally
Yeah,
were
on our way
avoid-
there, got stuck in a hailstorm, had to pull over. Yeah.
That was kind of funny. Pea-sized hail and all that.
Don't you guys have radar? Don't you know storms are coming?
Yeah, and because I told him before we left my hotel I had, and I was like, in 5 minutes, we just got put under a severe weather warning, and it said in 5 minutes it's going to be hail, rain, wind, like 60-mile-an-hour wind. And we go
at least
outside the
you're aware.
hotel, and it's a wall cloud. And I'm like, great. And sure enough, we were on the highway, get stuck in it, had to pull over, go to a gas station, and wait it out. So
It was
I thought you were saying it caught you off guard, which I was going to be disappointed by because you claim to be into weather. I was hoping you knew it.
no, I knew it was
Like,
coming.
it blows me away when people get caught off by thunderstorms. Just off topic.
I know, right?
Like people that say that storm came out of nowhere. No, it really didn't.
no. It's
Anyway, sorry, yeah, keep going.
so had to divert, go around a bunch of storms. So I knew I was going to be really tight, and then I get a tight connection into Atlanta. Even coming into Atlanta, finally taking the downwind, lightning is going off like 5 feet from there, or not 5 feet, but it felt like 5 feet from the aircraft. And you, Justin, had pointed out, hey, look at all the aircraft trying to take off.
They had a ground stop for a departing aircraft.
It was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's
Yeah,
lying
there
there
were
trying to get out of
so
Flights were still arriving, but they had a ground stop for departures. Yeah.
there. And
Yeah, because those queues, those takeoff queues were wild.
it's
I
massive.
can't even imagine, dude.
We're talking
Especially
like-
being at the end of that,
We're
like
talking like numbers in the 40s and 50s for like, a number for departure. That's
R.I.P. to the ATC
Yeah, think
people,
about that.
man, like-
Sir, you're number 54.
because I thought that
Yikes.
might have weirdly played into your favor. Was that delay?
Correct.
Yeah.
So, 30 minutes prior, I do get an email saying you might be missing your connection. We are looking to rebook your flight 15 minutes later, I get the "you have been rebooked" flight.
Real quick, can we talk about that real quick? Because Delta just does that.
Yes.
Which I hate.
Yes.
I think it's
Right.
awful. 'Cause I've only had it happen once, or they don't even give you the option. They just rebook you.
Right. However, I've had that before where they have rebooked me, and because I kept my old
Oh, yeah, the boarding
my
pass
old
in your
boarding
wallet.
pass,
Yeah.
I still made it.
Because I was going to say, like, fast forwarding, not to, like, cut you off here, but you made it to the, you can get to the store, but you did technically make it to the gate. Would you have been able to get on that flight?
Let's talk about that.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Didn't mean to jump ahead.
So I arrive. I get to Atlanta. Not as bad taxiing like you would in Chicago. Chicago is just terrible to taxi.
Yes.
And my flight is 15 minutes delayed. So there is a chance that I'm going to make this aircraft. All right. So I get off the aircraft and I book it. I book it because
But wait, real quick, were you rebooked at this point? Like,
I was rebooked at this
okay.
point.
Gotcha.
Now I book it because, again, I've had this in the past where I have been able to make it.
Was it the same terminal? Did you have far to go?
No, it was not the same terminal. So,
Doesn't
and of course we had to be parked at the very end of the terminal. And so
And then didn't you have the train problems?
I was going to get to that.
Okay.
Thanks, Paige.
You're welcome.
Easy.
I
easy.
just landed.
Sorry.
train
Did you
didn't
go to a
get
soccer
there.
game too? Didn't you go to a soccer game?
So I get to get off the aircraft. And by the way, we also had to wait about 2-3 minutes to get parked,
2
obviously.
to 3 minutes. Oh my god.
Time is ticking, bro.
Deal breaker.
Yeah,
bruh.
yeah. When you need it, I get it.
Right, yeah.
Because actually, in this case, 1 minute would have made a huge
It
difference.
could have definitely made it, yes. And so, book it, get to the central, or, get to the SkyTrain. And I get on the SkyTrain, and it doesn't move. The doors close, and then they do the whole trying to get it to move and go, and it didn't. And then they reopen up the doors, and then they close it again.
She broke.
This happened about 2 or 3 times. By the third time that it opened up, I said, "That's it. I'm running and booking my way over there." And it did not move. So the SkyTrain had broke during that time. That could have helped save some of my time to get to the gate.
Man, timing is literally,
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
it was not on my side today. And so I ended up going up the massive escalator that you have to go up to get up to the terminals, and had to run out, book my way to the other side of the terminal of Terminal A. I went from B to A. And I get there to the gate, which is, again, at the very, very end of the terminal, because I happened to be, that was my luck that day, was the end of both terminals. And I see my aircraft. It's there.
Wait, it should be mentioned it was an A319.
It was an A319, yep.
Yeah.
So my aircraft's there.
Whatever.
I'm like, but there's nobody at the gate. The gate agent had already been there, and they had already pulled the...
Was there anyone to talk to? Like, was there anyone even
No.
to talk into it?
No, there was nobody.
So I guess, do we know, like, would you have been able to get on that flight?
I mean, I have a
So,
feeling...
like, it's funny because you made this effort to get to the gate, but would it have mattered?
I have a feeling
what I wonder,
had I
yeah.
showed up 5 minutes earlier...
But being rebooked, like, just because it happened that one time, I feel like that's not, like, I don't know. I don't think you would have gotten on that flight.
I would have pleaded my case. I would have.
No, and so would have I. That doesn't mean you're getting on the flight.
I don't... who knows?
Because I really wonder if you would have gotten on that plane.
Right.
Well, and you guys would have known. We don't know now.
Right.
But,
That's what I mean. Because since you've had a scenario where you were rebooked, but you still got on the original flight.
Correct.
Which is why this is a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious about...
Because I wonder, because I remember you sent the picture of the gate, and I was like, why did you rush to the gate when you weren't going to get on the flight anyway? Which is, you wonder if you would have made it. So who knows?
Yeah.
Should have been like, this is for tomorrow. Not only, you're not late, sir, you're super early. You're not
So I had to make the cancellation and changes over in Chattanooga, where I was going to end up that night. I ended up obviously in Atlanta.
Did they hook up hotel?
No,
Nothing. Gotcha.
because everybody was on a weather delay. So they're like,
Yeah,
we
you just never know sometimes.
Right. It wasn't a maintenance delay. Had it been a maintenance delay, it would have been different. So,
Right, because that's what I meant. I thought originally you said it was because of maintenance, was the original delay.
oh, there was a maintenance. Yeah. Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
there
that's
was
what
a
I'm
maintenance
getting at.
issue
That's what I'm
in
getting at.
Kansas City. I can't remember what it was. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, everything was
just
just
the
trying to hold me
A319 being
back.
old.
There you go. Right.
It was a 737 that was on a maintenance delay too, for your information.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, leaving Kansas City was a 7:37. She's right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So dang it.
So what? Still blaming it on
Yeah,
the
just blame it on the A319, anyways.
She didn't want to fly you because she knew how much you were just being all salty and whatnot. She was like, I have standards.
Anyway, so
Just
That
saying.
flight, ironic. I remember looking up that flight number. That flight weirdly left relatively on time for as long as some of those queues were. I don't know if you looked into this, but like I followed this weirdly closely. But there was a long departure queue on the south side for Atlanta, but your Chattanooga flight left literally on time.
wow.
Because there was no
wow.
one, there
Yeah,
was
I
no
didn't
one,
notice that
there was
either.
no one departing on the north side besides a couple planes, and for some reason that Chattanooga flight went north, and it went straight up and was able to like turn and burn versus planes that are on the south side that had a queue like that was 30, 40 deep. I just found that weirdly interesting.
Interesting.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I spent the night in Atlanta. My brother, who I was texting the whole time, he was actually going to come pick me up, and then I got rebooked for that early Chattanooga flight, which also was delayed. So my flighty now shows I was in a 14-and-a-half-hour delay. So
That is wild.
Go somewhere that you could have driven in 2 hours.
Yeah.
And it was interesting too, coming in, checking in, everybody like in Atlanta checking in because I couldn't get a ticket because the flight was the day before. So I go talk to the lady and she's like, "But your flight left yesterday at 6:55," and I'm like, "No, it's
Should have been like, what?
it's leaving
Excuse
today.
me.
It got delayed." And so finally, after like 5 minutes, they were able to figure out, give me a ticket, so I could go through security. I get through security, blah blah blah. I get to my gate, and I'm at a gate. Okay, I'm at G14, right? And I'm looking, and I have no aircraft, and I'm seeing that all of a sudden, Zone 1 is booking now or is boarding. I'm like, there's no aircraft here. Literally, there's an aircraft taxiing in here, but there is no board. Like, and then it goes Zone 2, Zone 3. And 3 or 4 of us are like, this is not our gate. It says Omaha. What is going on?
Wait, I thought you were going to Chattanooga.
Or Chattanooga, sorry. It says Chattanooga.
Oh my God.
This guy.
It's amazing he gets around at all.
I know, right?
Well, that was your problem. You were going to the Omaha flight.
There you go. Yeah. So
Yeah,
the
right.
Chattanooga flight. All right. Goes to finally at like Zone 5. Find out that it's a different gate. So why everything wasn't showing, I don't understand. Even the Delta app wasn't showing. Nothing was showing correctly. I get to the gate finally. I'm boarding in like Zone 6, and they're like, "Oh, sir, we need to take your bag because this is gonna be a full flight." I said, "Okay."
You
whatever."
were in Zone 6? You?
I should have been in Zone 2,
Right?
but yeah. So
Wow.
I was boarding in Zone 6, and starting in Zone 6, they start to
Shout out to Zone 6.
they start
To the real ones in Zone 6.
so Zone 6. I was boarding with them, and they tag my bag, and I'm like, okay. So I get on the aircraft. The flight's not full. There's like
Noticeably open.
there's like 15 people on the aircraft.
What
and
the heck?
and I'm like, so I had to put my rollerboard or rolling luggage underneath the aircraft. I don't understand this.
Weight and balance. Let's call it just weight and balance.
I was a little upset about that, but
Yeah, me
I was
too.
going to say
I would be too.
something had to make you mad. We're almost there. Something had
yeah,
to make you mad.
I was. Come on, bro. So, anyways, we take off, get out of Chattanooga. Out of Atlanta. It was late, but got to Chattanooga. Chattanooga's airport. Interesting. Little airport with 8 gates.
A super short flight, right? You only got to like 10,000 feet.
Yep.
It was like a milk run.
That's
It was only like
crazy,
10,000
yeah.
feet. Yeah. Quick ride on up there. So spent a few days in Chattanooga. Went to go see a soccer team. Go see Chattanooga FC, and that was there was lots of weather out there. But let's talk about leaving Chattanooga. So leaving Chattanooga, I left on Sunday because I had to get back out to Kansas City for.
Paige was waiting at the airport.
She's
Still
still
from
waiting.
Friday, yeah.
So I take a CRJ 700 out of Chattanooga, even though they said CRJ 550, so the different configuration.
It was a 700 though. You
Yeah.
said, gotcha.
Yeah. But on the outside of the aircraft, it said 550. So yeah,
On the aircraft itself.
yeah,
Because they're interchangeable.
yeah, because the 550.
Yeah.
So I'd say the 550 configuration in that instance. So took that up to Chicago, which Chicago is always a fun place to stop, where you taxi for 45 minutes and you do
You can either
loops.
taxi for 5 minutes or literally up to an hour.
And you'll go in a square. There was one moment where we did this and literally came back over. I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but whatever. Get off in Chicago. I had to do some terminal hopping to get over there, and I got to the moment where I'm like, Kevin, something of Home Alone,
Oh yeah.
and then I get on the A319.
Woo! There we go. Yeah, get out of here. Get out of here. Now this would arguably be your best A319 flight, I think.
So Pablo, who was on a previous podcast, he actually saw that I was on that aircraft, and he stated that, oh, you're in the new nice retrofitted one. So
And it was?
It was
Yeah,
the
see?
interior was nice, and so
Wait, so why was this such a nice flight?
I don't know why it was a nice flight. It just was. I didn't have
The
it.
retrofitted, the new United
Oh, I didn't know if
livery.
Paige, because you flew first, right? You
Yeah.
flew-
And you're in first class, exactly. So
I didn't know if Paige knew something I didn't.
So no, no. I mean, it was. I would say with my United flights this time, I didn't have anything really.
The flight was
To
great.
say.
The aircraft sucked. Let's
Sure,
put it that way.
There you go.
denial,
And
denial, denial.
the company still sucks. The airline still sucks.
That,
So.
that you still fly though, but the aircraft sucks. Flight was great.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, then got back to Kansas City. I did walk back, obviously, to my baggage claim to be picked up from.
She'd
Miss
been
Paige
for
there?
so long.
She had been there for 48
long.
hours. I did see the LA Galaxy and their charter plane. I didn't see them, but I saw the charter plane
Oh,
that
yeah.
they came out on. Which Paige?
I actually photographed the Galaxy landing in Kansas City. I photographed Adama departing, and then it was Saturday. I saw the LA Galaxy come in on Sun Country, and I photographed not only the plane, but them getting off the plane. So that was super cool because the plane parked not too far away from me where I was in the garage. So
You guys remember when we were down there and we were going to catch the Chiefs and then completely missed
yes,
Oh my God,
we saw
yes.
it in the distance too.
We went to the gas station because we had to go to the,
it? We all had
Another
we all-
bathroom.
We had to take a break. Yeah, speak of the devil.
Speak
there's
of the bathroom.
Yeah,
We
'cause
literally
didn't think
missed the
they were gonna
flight.
leave.
We literally
Oh,
missed the
man.
flight.
They took off on the worst runway anyways for
It
photographs.
doesn't matter. We missed it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did.
We
were down there.
We didn't miss it. We saw it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
but we
saw
did
it in the
miss it.
distance.
We did miss
but
it, though.
Yeah.
So
We're spotting for like, 6 hours and we go to the bathroom once.
That one
And then
time.
the Chiefs
Right.
depart.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That was when Shayla had
Because
come
that
out
was
too.
that was a rare heavy there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rare heavy.
Oh man.
Oh well, right. Hey, but good memories, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's about it for.
It's crazy that that Delta gave you a more hard time than United did. It's a weird little flip flop there for you.
It wasn't really all Delta's fault though.
Yeah,
It was weather.
It's weather.
It's not, but still.
I don't blame Delta.
not.
I blame weather.
I don't expect you to blame Delta, but you have more problems, I guess, flying Delta.
On the specific trip is what you're saying.
Because I fly Delta more.
Sure.
The sample size is greater, so that leads to more issues, more than likely. But yeah.
I do think United now is second on Flighty for most flights, with Ryanair now being third.
Oh wow.
But yeah, so that was fun. And now I'm back
Shout out
here.
to the trip.
There you go.
Shout out to the A319.
No,
Getting
no.
whatever.
Say it again.
No.
What is it? What is it?
No.
Say it.
Nope.
Oh, now you don't want to say its name, huh? All right.
I'm not going to disrespect her like that, you know?
What are you going to call her?
Disrespect what?
What is she?
I'm not going to do it because you guys, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
I think you do.
No, I literally don't. I'm honestly.
Complete denial.
All right. Fine.
A319!
She got you.
She did.
That was
I literally had my finger on the
that
button.
was really good.
I literally had my finger on the
So- I thought you were going to call it a baby bus, and I'm like, no, that's not a baby bus. An A318 is a baby bus.
Damn.
That's the real baby.
Well done. That was good.
6.
I literally had my finger on the button too.
Myself.
Not even that wasn't even theoretically speaking. Like I literally have my finger on the
Yeah,
button.
no, it's been here. It's been creepy. Like,
It's not moving either.
yeah, I know.
The whole rest of the time.
All right. So on that note, let's switch gears and go to Paige's polls. Paige's polls for you, Matt. Polls.
Polls. Okay.
He's the one that said great remix.
Oh, that's right.
No, I think it was Eric actually. But shout out to Matt. Jet set
Yeah,
shorts.
yeah, I think it was. All right. So, all right, guys.
There we go.
There we go. So we had a question for this week's Pages poll. And this is kind of inspired by Delta coming out publicly with kind of a what are they going to start doing to people who jump the line, right?
Well, it's Delta and American. There are
Yeah.
a few that were doing
I was going
it.
to say, did something trigger this question? I guess I wasn't aware.
Yes. Yeah. So that was kind of the trigger. And the question was, what do you think should happen to line jumpers while boarding an aircraft? We had two people. We had at Lucy Romero and Non-Rev Lounge podcast both
Oh my
said
God.
that they should get shot on site.
Nice.
Literally shot.
Okay. Wow.
You're a line
Not
jumper.
necessarily I disagree, but it's just like coming out and saying that's wild.
Especially shout out to Non-Ref Lounge with
The
that.
fact
Right.
that came from non-rev, shout out, absolutely.
Shout out,
Shot
yes.
on site.
Shot on site.
We're talking about like bring them into the galley and just kill them.
Right. Like, is there something behind this that two people said it, or is this just coincidence and like very high emotions
No,
towards
it just sounds
this?
like people are pissed.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, bro.
I guess I honestly don't see this happen a whole lot. I see
Me
it happen,
either.
but I don't see it happen a lot.
Yeah.
And maybe it's something that we just don't really notice,
I
but
guess
it
we can dive
happens
into it.
more
Let's
than
get
we
to some
notice.
Let's get to some answers, but we'll dive into it. But I don't see it happen a whole lot, to be honest.
So,
I definitely don't.
Hombre Frutas said, put them.
Yeah, there's no one to. There's no one, that was good. That was good. There's no room to cut in front of it. There's only
Right.
one.
I don't
Yeah.
see it.
There's nowhere to cut in front of Adama. Well played. Well played. That was good.
So, Hombre Frutas said, put them in the back of the plane, middle seats, and gate check bags.
Yes.
Put him in the storage bins. Yeah.
Yeah.
Under the plane. Yeah.
Under the
Oh,
plane.
make them cargo.
There's a little jail down there for you.
Jet set shirts, reassign them to the middle seats in the back of the cabin next to the labs, and no Biscoffs.
No Biscoffs for you.
Biscoffs.
Oh my God! Another person said they should be shot. Or is
Two.
you- Oh, okay. That was already one you said. Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. So that one, yeah. B-Dog Photography, back of the line, group 9, last aboard. Oh, and your carry-on will be gate checked. MBG_aviation sent to the back of the liner automatically have their bag checked. And
What's up, Matt?
that one? I did that one.
Hombre
Yeah.
Frutas. Shout out Hombre Frutas.
And then Walker_Nixon sent to the back of the line. Aviation Mike NC lose their spot, and they are now group 9. Pals Mom 1, shout out Mom.
This is actually what I was going to say. That's really funny that she said that. Public shaming,
Public shaming followed by being drawn and quartered.
tarred and feathered. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Shout out Paige's mom.
Right.
That's funny. I was kind of with the group of the whole public shaming. You know, like put a little thing around their neck that says, you know, like I stole.
Like a
You know,
dunce cap, yeah.
like
Like,
I stole from someone. It says I cut the line, kind of thing.
yes, exactly. And then Infant Almighty 95, they should be boarded last. So that was kind of the popular consensus for people was board last. So,
I'm totally in agreement with that, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we should be shooting them. and legitimately murdering these people.
Maybe have like a Nerf gun and just start like pew pew pew. But
Pew, 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 just like that.
I understand.
Pew, 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 pew.
I understand where they're coming from. In the moment, you probably do want those people to die. In the moment,
Yeah.
but
Especially if you
so
have
what's funny
status.
is like, what are these? You know, if you really want to dive into it, is what are? Okay, if you know, I'm just trying to justify like why they're. I'm not. I guess I shouldn't say justify, but like when they're jumping in the line, are they that desperate to get onto the plane that early? Is it about not checking your bag? You know, like
right.
why?
Or is it a
what is the-
mistake for some people? Maybe it is a mistake, like you
Or
thought
are
you were
people just
boarding,
genuinely
but-
not knowing where they're boarding? You know what I mean? Like I
like
wonder how
first time flyers, you know,
how many
like
of these people that are line jumping legitimately are intentionally doing it. They're just boarding the plane, you know, deliriously.
right. Yeah.
Oh, if it's Spirit, they're definitely they're definitely line jumping. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get on there.
Not to mention, they would actually maybe be shot on that flight.
Yeah. I mean, they're definitely getting dragged out. Yeah.
Have you ever, so full transparency, have you ever cut the line?
No.
I don't.
So by that, let's be clear what we're talking
Yeah.
about for everyone, meaning you board in a group and or zone that is not yours.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're group
Southwest
5
doesn't count if you're in a position 35 and you accidentally boarded like
'Cause if
30, you
yeah.
know.
I mean, I'll admit, I maybe boarded group 4 when I'm group 5 per se. But isn't there an easy way around this? Like, the ticket shouldn't be able to scan if it's the right group. You know,
Correct.
like, I've always wanted
Yeah.
it to be like that.
It should be beep beep beep. There should be public shaming with that.
Speaking of public shaming, exactly.
You know, sir, you cannot board.
As technologically,
Go on the intercom. Yeah.
technologically advanced as everything is, how is that not a thing?
Exactly.
Because that would be awesome.
I
If the guy's
figured that
running-
that was actually a thing, but I mean, I've never tried it, obviously.
And maybe it is. Like, get at us for the people that do work in the airlines. Maybe there is a reason they don't do it. Who
Yeah.
knows? You know? But yeah, I mean, yeah.
Give me some public shaming. Yeah.
Yeah, public shaming and sent to the back of the line. Like, get on the intercom and say, this guy right here just tried to cut in line. He is group 10, or he was group 7, and he is boarding in group 4.
It's gonna
Sent
be-
back to the line.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be like that Key and Peele skit where they.
Oh, yes.
Okay, and all those who have had a baby, all those who have had a baby, go ahead and board. Like, just
Yeah.
that guy's the last
I'm not so
person.
sure first offenders need to be shot on site, but maybe we can do like a strike
Repeat
meter.
offenders?
Repeat
Ooh.
offenders. Now, if it happens a second time, we might kill you.
Like, they have it in their system when you scan your ticket. And if it shows that you've boarded, you cut in line.
We're talking public
you know?
shaming, maybe being put down in the cargo bin. Now, repeat offenders, you might die.
You get put in a suitcase.
No, you actually
Well,
live
under the
in the
plane.
lavatory. Like you get
Repeat offenders might have to go speak with non-rev lounge about what they've done.
there you go. you know, they're the
Know what I'm
ones.
saying?
Go answer
You know what I'm
some
saying?
questions,
They
you
might
know?
be armed and dangerous, by the way.
It is Arizona, so yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think, though?
I was going to ask Adama if he's ever cut the line, but I mean, there's no line. Once again, there's no line to cut.
Yeah.
I don't think I have. I have taken that option for military back in the day, but I don't. That's not really line cutting, but
He's usually the first one to board anyway, so.
But yeah, I guess it goes back to the question is how many of these people are, intentionally cutting the line versus just delusional and just boarding
Right.
to board.
Confused, yeah.
it doesn't help that everybody stands when it's time to board. And they don't
Yes.
wait their moment. Why not? If you're unless you actually are trying to take your carry-on bag on, why not wait till zone 8?
Because to me,
or
you
9?
can group these people along with the ones that not only get up after the flight. I get maybe getting up right when the plane parks, but it's one thing to then get in the aisle immediately.
Right.
Now those people can be grouped together with line jumpers. Now
Yeah.
now I might be getting a little more violent on the whole shot on sight thing. I might be a little more in favor
Right.
of that there.
You got a taser. The flight attendant has a taser. Sit down. Sit down. We haven't even. We just landed. Yeah.
The seatbelts should be mechanical, and you should not be able to take them off until like a certain point in time. Because like everyone's clicks immediately.
Yeah.
Well, and then also, I think the immediate standers, it should be the ones who get in the aisle and then get their bags out, because I don't have a problem with standing, especially if it's a long flight. Like, I'll admit, I stand right when we got to the gate when my flight to Dublin.
Sure.
Because it was a long flight, and then we were also having jet bridge issues. We couldn't get off the plane. I was like, I need to stand up.
Context, of course.
Yeah, but the people who get out in the aisle and getting their bags down and already in the aisle, right up at the door, ready to go.
To a
Like,
degree, like it's one thing to stand up; it's another one to like have your bag already down
yeah,
and stuff like that. Because there are, speaking of line jumpers, there are people. I'm sure you have seen it. It doesn't happen all the time, of course, but special cases where you've got someone that's coming from rows behind you that is getting off the plane, and maybe they've got a tech connection, maybe they do.
Yeah.
But chances are they probably don't.
Yeah. Chances are they probably.
yeah. If they're just chilling there, that's not the case.
There's one where I always see someone coming up from behind the plane, or not behind the plane, but coming from rows behind you when we're all getting ready to deplane, and these people are coming back from row 30 plus, and there's a system here. This is not how that works.
This
Yeah.
is civilization, people. Like.
Right.
I'm okay with just staring at those people, letting them know they're doing something wrong.
Yeah. Awkward stares. Yep, exactly.
I think these line jumpers should have to pay a penalty.
Oh, really?
Like, hey, you really want to be first class? You really want to be premium selector and all that? You know what? Fine. Go ahead. Jump the line. $250 fine.
Depending on who you talk to, they might be paying for their life. I mean, with their life, I should say, with their life.
That's true. So, $250 or death, you choose, sir.
Put them to work, make them pass out drinks and snacks, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I kind of
That's a
like
good
that.
idea.
Yeah, because, the flight attendants are not there for your entertainment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yup.
That's a good idea. Oh, you do it.
And let the flight attendants do and be ready for what they need to be ready for.
Right.
And maybe let them enjoy the flight a little more. And let's put these
Exactly.
people to work. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Well,
Okay. You know what?
put them to work. I like that. Actually. Put them to work.
Make them
Put them to work.
make them make
So
sure
we
that the
can't kill 'em.
lavatory's
You can't
clean.
kill 'em.
Oh, there you go. There
You can't kill them. We got to put them to work.
Put them to work.
Yep.
Can't die.
You want to be on this aircraft? Yeah. Yeah, then there you go. Yeah. Well, not even a W-2. You're just you're not you are going to
You're
work.
volunteering
So
today.
you are.
Forced volunteering.
There we go. That's it. I like it.
Yeah, I'm into that.
All right. Have anything else on this topic, guys?
No, I'm out.
No.
I'm done.
Okay. All right. So let's talk future travels. Yeah. So I next week am headed out to Orlando to go see my half brother and his family, and a few other half brothers I think are coming out.
A few other half brothers. How many half brothers do you have?
Bro, I've got.
Serious amount.
Why do you have so many half brothers?
This is not going to be the Adama genealogy.
That's a separate podcast
I'm not
that you
asking
can make,
for you to
honestly.
dive into it. It was just, it's a simple answer.
I've got about 5 half siblings on top of my 3 other full siblings.
Funky family, dude.
It's yeah.
I've got one full brother.
There you go. Congratulations. I
don't have siblings at
One
all.
full brother. Oh, you don't?
I do not.
Oh.
My dog was my sibling growing up, so
Shout out to the dog.
yep.
Shout out. So yeah, headed out to Orlando. Gonna take. I'm taking Southwest.
Woo! Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, I was
There's
expecting.
no first class option, so why you?
There's
taking that?
not. There's not. Yeah, it was the cheapest option, so that's
The
what I
vibes
chose.
are first class, okay?
I'll go through St. Louis to get over to Orlando, and then from there I'm taking Alaska out to San Francisco, spend the night in San Francisco, fly that morning, San Francisco up to Seattle, taking Alaska again, and then I'm taking Alaska back from Seattle to
You
Omaha.
guys both on that same flight, then I'm guessing.
On that flight back, yeah.
So yeah, I will be going to Seattle. This is my first time in Seattle and my first time flying Alaska. So on Thursday the 22nd, I will be flying to Seattle, direct Alaska. I'll be there the whole time until Monday and taking the late Alaska flight back. So I'm super excited.
Or also known as, same flight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you just mentioned.
And
It sound like it's a different flight, yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's when Omaha starts getting the 2 a day.
The two, yeah.
The 2 a day for
Two-a-days.
Alaska. So, yeah. Other than that, let's go ahead and wrap up this podcast. Hey guys, it's Friday, and these two know the Fridays just don't work well. So,
Time you dumbed out. Yeah.
let's go and do the social media train. Paige, where can we follow you on the social medias?
You can find me at Omaha Spotter Page on Instagram and my travel buddy Adventures with Aileron.
And Justin, where can we find you on the Instagram?
At Spotting Omaha. Real quick, want to shout out Spotting Chronicles. I reposted that on the Exit Rows post today.
Yep.
Or whatever it was, Exit Row page. Yeah, sure, we'll call it that. But yeah, shout out to him.
Shout out. And
Yeah.
you can follow me at photography. You can follow me at Photography by Adama D on Instagram. You can follow us at the Exit Row Pod on Instagram, and
You want to just go ahead and use your real voice?
like, subscribe, share.
Exit row after dark over here.
Listen, I'm not going to lie. It was cool for a couple seconds.
It used
then
to
it's
be
time to
my
go.
radio announcement voice. So, anyways, yeah.
Podcast is over.
Make sure you like, subscribe, share from all of us here
out
at
to Henry.
Omaha, Nebraska,
Hey, mascot,
and shout
yeah.
out to Henry. Justin.
Team Exit Row on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Team
Exit row.
Exit row.